How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all keeping well, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Grid here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course for episode 19. If you missed the previous one where we're at the Sachsenring in Germany, make sure you give that one a check out before we get into this one, or after, whichever you feel like. But since it is the month of May now, and it is such a special month for IndyCar, with the Indy 500 taking place at the end of it, I felt like it would only be right if we saw what Formula 1 cars will be like on the road course that IndyCar will be racing at this coming weekend. Located in Speedway, Indiana, about 10 kilometers to the west of downtown Indianapolis, first opened in 1909 with the iconic oval. This road course taking shape in 2014 after having a few modifications since it first opened, I believe, in 2000. 3.9 kilometers or 2.4 miles in length with 14 turns, 9 right and 5 left with 2 DRS zones. The first obviously along the pit straight from turn 14 down to turn 1, and then the second from the exit of the fast chicane of turn 6 down into turn 7. But getting into a lap here now at the Indy road course down the long pit straight in the opposite direction than they go for the Indy 500. Have to brake nice and early for the first turn, or right-hander 90-degree corner, which quickly leads into the left-hand 90-degree, and then another right-hander, a really long one. They have to brake really early for turn 4 as it comes up on you really quickly, and then into the fast chicane of turn 5 and 6. Not quite flat out in this setup anyway, as we open the DRS then and hurtle down to the technical section of the track. Again, braking nice and early for another 90-degree left-hander, going a bit deep there, then flicking right, and then left again, and then into one of the trickiest corners of the track. Want to carry a lot of speed, but there isn't a lot of runoff, and the grass comes up on you really quickly, and it's easy to lose the back end as we head onto the open for the first time, braking for the final few corners. The last real braking zone of the track, as the second last corner, just a little trail brake and a lift off. As now we go into the controversial final turn, turn 14, back onto the oval, onto the pit straight, open the DRS, and that is a lap around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So just a few facts about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. When it first opened back in 1909, when the visionary of the circuit, Carl G. Fisher, wanted to create a permanent car testing facility in Indiana. It was just the third permanent race facility in the world, with only Brooklands in London and the Milwaukee Mile being created before Indianapolis. And these days it's just the Milwaukee Mile which is still in existence, so it makes Indy the second oldest current track which is used in the world. As for Formula 1, as I mentioned, stopped racing here in 2007, mainly due to financial issues, and the US audience wasn't too kind to Formula 1 back then after the whole controversy in 2005 with the Michelin tyres exploding and just 6 cars taking the race. But as we get towards the end of this outlap now, we're bringing back the target lap set to us by Microsoft Copilot, and it has said that we should be aiming for a 1:06.0 around here in modern Formula 1 cars. So with that target set, let's head on to our first flying lap. Bit wide there through turn 2, not the greatest line. Then really carry enough speed into there. And just hitting the curve. Bit of a killer curve there, don't want to really be anywhere near it, but if you get the line wrong, just going to go off the track anyway, so have to be a bit risky and try and put that as much as I can. On lap 2 then, hopefully we can try and make it around one facing in direct direction for the whole thing. A bit better through the first couple of turns. A bit more speed through there. took it really easy through there, and the back end still trying to step out, so they're going to have to make a few setup changes to make the car feel a bit more comfortable at the rear. Even through here, it just feels a bit sketchy on the rear, and it's braking too late for that right-hander. Going a bit wide, not getting the greatest exit out onto the oval. Good end to the lap through the final turn now to see what it's going to be for our first line lap here at Indy. Opening DRS, we set a 1 minute 10.1, so about 4 seconds that we have to try and find to beat the target lap. Don't know if it's really legal to use all that runoff on the left hand side, but it's not getting invalidated when we do it, so I think I'm going to just keep using it. Managed to get the chicane a lot nicer that time. Apex there on the throttle nice and early, keeping it tight onto the start finish straight. And we improved by just over a second, set at 1 minute 8.9. Gonna go back to the pits, make a few setup changes, and hopefully we can try and get a bit closer to that 106, but I think it's going to be tricky to beat it on this occasion. So, made a few changes to the aero and the ERS deployment strategy. Don't really know what I'm doing with the setup for this car, to be honest, so if anybody has any tips, leave a comment down below. Is the BRC Formula Alpha 2024. So, any help would be greatly appreciated, but let's see how we get on this lap. Already a good bit up through the opening section. But once again through the chicane, it's just when I try to flick back to the right, the transfer of momentum seems to be a bit too much and the rear starts to overtake the front. So might have to just start taking it a bit easier through there, or just compromising the exit of the corner beforehand to open up the line and try and straighten it out a bit more. So we'll try that on the next lap and see how it goes. Again, didn't get the line right at the top there either. I was way off the first apex, but it wasn't even close to full throttle, I don't think. And just started to loop around on me. We did get the chicane very well as we get a big snap through the final turn. We were going to improve by about 8 tenths. We ended up improving by 2.5 to 1 minute 8.7. Still a lot of time to find around here. Short shifting on this occasion through the final turn. Keep traction, and we're getting a lot of time on the run to the line. Improved by 8 tenths, 1 minute 7.9, so just under 2 seconds away from our target. I think we're going to make a few more setup changes, and obviously I'm not very used to this commentating while driving, so I'm going to lock in a bit for the last 15 or so minutes and see how close we can get to that 1 minute 6.0. Felt a bit scruffy at the end there, but we're still going to improve by 3 tenths down to a 1 minute 7.6, so getting closer and closer. Okay, carry more speed through turn 4 there, almost 6 tenths up through the chicane. There, apex there at the second last corner, push. On the final turn onto the main straight. better that time, over second up in the first sector. Hopefully we can hold it together. Let's hold it all together. We didn't gain any more time throughout the lap. Only a couple of hundreds. Come across the line, improved by a second. 1 minute 6.488. So just under half a second away from our 1 minute 6 dead target. Bit of a moment there out of the second last corner. We were only going to improve marginally. Pretty much match our previous time. Oh, and just hit the curb a bit too much. And we might just be able to make it back around for another lap. So just under a minute left on the clock, which means this is going to be my final lap here today. 4 things to try and beat our target. Let's see how we go. Improved by 2 tenths to 1 minute 6.261. I feel like kind of threw it away just in the first corner. Went in a bit too deep. Managed to get back a small bit. Didn't lose too much in the first sector. But I think I was about 2 tenths down on my personal best coming out off the chicane. And then towards the end of the lap, coming out onto the oval, just went in a bit too deep with the apex and probably lost about a tenth as well. So unfortunately we don't hit the target of the 1 minute 6 dead. Another couple of laps and I think I probably could get it, but we only have the 30 minutes. They're the rules I've set for myself, so it is what it is. And yeah, Indianapolis defeats us. But that's it for this episode of Off the Grid. I hope you did enjoy, especially with the new format and the live commentary, which I hope I'll be able to do more in the future, but not going to make any guarantees on that. As for Indianapolis, the track, very fun one to drive. I was getting a lot of entertainment out of running laps around here, and especially bringing back the target lap time to try and aim for just adds a bit of something special to this series, and can add a bit of frustration but can also add more enjoyment. As for Formula 1 at Indianapolis, I don't think we're going to see it on the calendar anytime soon, with there being so many US races already and Miami being extended till 2041, and I believe Vegas already has a pretty large contract. So yeah, I don't think they're going to add 4 races, with COTA I would assume going to be extended in the near future. But really, I don't know if modern Formula 1 would be great around here anyway. It's just very narrow. There's not a lot of places to overtake other than turn 1 down the main straight, and if you can follow close enough through the first section down into the heavy braking zone of I believe it's turn 6, the left hand hairpin at the end of the second DRS straight. But again, it would be great to see Formula 1 at this track with all its history and how iconic it is. But yeah, that is it for this episode. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. And I am also hoping to make more Indy 500 related videos over the next few weeks if I get the time to do so. So make sure you subscribe if you're interested in seeing those. But that's it for this one. Until the next time, thanks for watching. See you then.